This is an important and timely update for millions of Americans, especially seniors who rely on Social Security benefits every single month. There has been a major development coming out of Washington, and it could directly affect your income very soon. Congress has now given final approval to a new measure that could result in an extra Social Security-related payment arriving this month. Many people are hearing about this and wondering what it really means, who qualifies, how much money could be coming, and what steps, if any, they need to take. In this update, everything will be explained clearly, calmly, and in a way that is easy to follow so you can fully understand what is happening and how it may impact your financial situation. To begin with, it is important to understand what people mean when they talk about an extra payment. Social Security benefits are usually very predictable. They arrive once a month based on a schedule tied to your birth date or the type of benefits you receive. However, from time to time, changes in law, emergency economic measures, or benefit adjustments can lead to additional payments being issued. These are not part of the regular monthly schedule, and that is why they attract so much attention. In this case, the recent approval from Congress has created a situation where certain Americans could see additional funds delivered alongside or separate from their usual benefits. This development did not happen overnight. For months, lawmakers have been discussing ways to provide financial relief, especially for older adults who are dealing with rising costs. Inflation has affected everyday essentials like groceries, housing, utilities, and healthcare. Many seniors live on fixed incomes, which means that when prices go up, their purchasing power goes down. This creates real pressure, and it is one of the main reasons why policymakers have been exploring ways to provide extra support. The measure that has now passed is part of a broader effort to address these concerns. While headlines may simplify it as a bonus or extra Social Security check, the reality is a bit more detailed. The approved plan includes provisions that adjust how certain benefits are calculated, and in some cases, it allows for additional payments to be distributed to eligible recipients. These payments are designed to help offset recent economic challenges and ensure that seniors and other beneficiaries can better manage their expenses. It is also important to clarify that not everyone will automatically receive the same amount. Social Security is a complex system, and payments are based on several factors, including your work history, lifetime earnings, and the type of benefits you receive. For example, retirees, disability beneficiaries, and survivors may all be affected differently by this new development. Some individuals may see a noticeable increase, while others may receive a smaller adjustment. There are also cases where eligibility depends on income thresholds or participation in specific programs. One of the key reasons this announcement is gaining so much attention is timing. The fact that these payments could arrive within the same month makes it especially significant. For many households, even a modest increase can make a meaningful difference. It could help cover a utility bill, reduce credit card debt, or simply provide a bit of breathing room in a tight budget. That is why understanding the details is so important. Another point to keep in mind is how these payments are delivered. In most cases, Social Security payments are sent either through direct deposit or loaded onto a direct express card. This means that if you are eligible for an extra payment, it will likely arrive in the same way as your regular benefits. There is usually no need to apply separately, which is an important detail because it helps prevent confusion and protects people from scams. Unfortunately, whenever news like this spreads, there are always individuals who try to take advantage by spreading false information or asking for personal details. It is crucial to remember that official payments do not require you to pay fees or provide sensitive information over the phone or online. As this situation continues to develop, there are also questions about how long these additional payments might last. Some measures approved by Congress are temporary, designed to provide short-term relief during specific economic conditions. Others may lead to more permanent changes in how benefits are calculated or distributed. In this case, the extra payment being discussed appears to be part of a targeted effort rather than a long-term structural change, but it could still influence future policy decisions depending on how effective it is. There is also a broader conversation happening about the future of Social Security itself. Lawmakers are aware that the program faces long-term financial challenges, and discussions about sustainability are ongoing. While this particular update focuses on immediate relief, it is connected to a larger picture that includes funding, benefit adjustments, and the overall stability of the system. For beneficiaries, this means that staying informed is more important than ever. For now, the most important takeaway is that a confirmed decision has been made, and it could result in additional money reaching eligible Americans very soon. The next step is to understand exactly who qualifies and how the amounts are determined. That is where many of the details become more specific, and it is what will be explained in the next part of this update. This is not just another headline. It is a real development that could have a direct impact on your finances. Understanding it clearly can help you plan better, avoid confusion, and make the most of any additional support that becomes available. Now that the overall situation is clear, it is important to focus on who is most likely to receive this extra Social Security-related payment and how the amounts are determined in real terms. The approved measure is structured in a way that prioritizes individuals who are already part of the Social Security system, particularly retirees, people receiving disability benefits, and survivors who depend on these payments for their daily needs. The goal is not to create a completely new program, but rather to deliver additional financial support through the system that is already in place. For most recipients, eligibility is tied directly to whether they are currently receiving benefits. This means that if someone is already getting a monthly Social Security payment, there is a strong possibility they will be included in the group that receives the extra amount. However, the size of that payment can vary depending on several factors. One of the biggest factors is the benefit amount a person already receives. Those with lower monthly benefits may see a more meaningful percentage increase, while those with higher benefits may receive a more modest adjustment. This approach is often used to ensure that support is directed toward those who need it the most. Another factor that can influence the payment is income level. Some measures include thresholds to ensure that the extra funds go to individuals and households with limited financial resources. This does not mean that middle-income retirees are excluded, but it does mean that the structure is designed to provide stronger relief to those facing greater financial pressure. In practice, this can lead to differences in payment amounts that may seem confusing at first, but are based on long-standing rules within the Social Security system. Timing is another key detail that many people are paying close attention to. Because this measure has already received final approval, the process of distributing payments can begin relatively quickly. In many cases, the system is able to deliver funds within the same monthly cycle, especially for those who receive their benefits through direct deposit. This is why there is so much emphasis on the possibility of seeing the extra money arrive this month. However, it is also realistic to expect that some payments may take slightly longer, depending on processing schedules and individual circumstances. Not everyone receives their Social Security payment on the same day, so variations in timing are normal. It is also important to understand that this extra payment is separate from the regular cost of living adjustment, often referred to as COLA. The COLA is a yearly increase designed to help benefits keep up with inflation, and it is calculated based on economic data over time. The extra payment being discussed here is different because it is a targeted response to current conditions rather than a routine annual adjustment. This distinction matters because it helps explain why the payment may not continue in the same way in future months. For many seniors, one of the biggest concerns is how this additional money might affect other benefits they receive. Programs such as supplemental security income, housing assistance, or food assistance can sometimes be sensitive to changes in income. In most cases, temporary or one-time payments are treated differently from regular income, which can help prevent unintended reductions in other benefits. However, the exact impact can depend on individual circumstances, and it is always important for recipients to stay aware of how different programs interact with each other. Another important issue to consider is financial planning. Even though an extra payment can provide welcome relief, it is still wise to think carefully about how to use it. For some people, the priority may be catching up on essential bills that have been difficult to manage. For others, it may be an opportunity to build a small financial cushion or reduce existing debt. Healthcare costs are another area where additional funds can make a meaningful difference, especially for those managing ongoing medical needs. The key idea is to treat this payment as a valuable resource and use it in a way that supports long-term stability as much as possible. At the same time, it is necessary to remain cautious about misinformation. Whenever there is news about extra payments, there's often confusion about amounts, eligibility, and timing. Some sources may exaggerate the size of the payment or suggest that everyone will receive the same amount, which is rarely the case. Others may spread incorrect details about application processes or deadlines. The reality is that most eligible recipients do not need to take any action to receive this payment. It will be delivered automatically through the same method used for regular benefits, which helps reduce the risk of errors and delays. Scams are another serious concern during times like this. Fraudsters often take advantage of major announcements by pretending to offer assistance or faster access to payments. They may contact individuals by phone, email, or text message, asking for personal information such as social security numbers, bank details, or account passwords. It is extremely important to remember that legitimate government payments do not require this kind of interaction. Being cautious and protecting personal information is one of the most effective ways to avoid becoming a victim of fraud. Looking beyond this immediate update, there is a larger conversation about how Social Security will continue to support Americans in the years ahead. Rising costs and an aging population are creating new challenges, and policymakers are under pressure to find solutions that balance financial sustainability with the needs of beneficiaries. While this extra payment is a short-term measure, it reflects a broader recognition that many seniors are facing real financial strain. Future changes may build on this approach, but they will likely involve ongoing debate and careful planning. For now, what matters most is understanding what has already been approved and how it applies to you or your loved ones. The key points are clear. A confirmed decision has been made by Congress, and it allows for an additional Social Security-related payment to be delivered to eligible individuals. The amount may vary, the timing may differ slightly from person to person, and the payment is designed as targeted relief, rather than a permanent increase. Most importantly, it will be sent automatically through the existing system, without the need for applications or special steps. As this information becomes more widely known, it is natural for people to feel both hopeful and uncertain. An extra payment can provide meaningful support, but it also raises questions about what comes next. Staying informed, focusing on accurate details, and making thoughtful financial decisions can help turn this development into a positive opportunity. In closing, this update is not just about a single payment. It is about understanding how government decisions can directly affect everyday life, especially for those who rely on fixed incomes. It is about recognizing the importance of clear information in times of change and using that knowledge to make better choices. This extra payment represents a response to current challenges, and while it may not solve every problem, it can offer real help where it is needed most. By staying aware and prepared, you can make sure that you receive the support you are entitled to and use it in a way that strengthens your financial well-being moving forward.